What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the SEO video show. Today we have Michael MacMillan, and we'll be talking about sales conversions for SEO. Got a great topic today. Creating content that converts. SEO content that converts. It's a good one. He is actually a contributing author in the SEO in 2025 book, which I am actually giving away free copies of. If you want a copy, shoot me an email at dre@seo.video with your name and address. If you are in the United States, I will send you a copy. All right, let's see here. We want to make sure we're in. Michael, my man, how you doing today?
Good, Dre. How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. We got Michael in the house already in the back, getting ready. He is a contributing author, along with myself, in the SEO in 2025 book, and we'll be talking about his contribution today. And I'm also giving away free copies, guys. So if you want to get a copy, and if you are in the United States, shoot me your email. Shoot me your address at dre@seo.video. Stefan, my man, happy Friday. Oh yeah. Don't be shy, guys. Say hi in the live chat. We already have Michael in the back. Michael, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. That's
far east
Canada,
coast
right?
of Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
The 51st state?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, guys. Welcome, everyone. We are a beautiful day here in the San Francisco Bay Area. In the Napa Valley, actually, is where I'm at. So, sunny, warm.
Nice.
Yeah. Wine country. All right. Let me see here. Let me see. You sound a little low. I want to make sure you are. Check. Can you say?
Want me to keep talking?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a little low, but I can still hear you. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can affect that?
No, you should be good. I'm actually, let me put up your volume on my end. I can actually
All right.
give you a little boost.
I'll keep rambling on. Yeah. You're in Napa, eh?
Yeah.
I never get to Napa. I'm in the Bay Area all the time, but
Oh, are you?
yeah. Usually I'll hang out in Oakland just because it's a little bit cheaper, and I just like the vibe. And then I can just hop the train and be over real quick.
Yeah, no,
to San Francisco.
That's where I'm actually from Oakland. That's where my actual office is at. So.
Oh, nice.
Well, registered office.
Yeah.
I use my I have a rental out there that it is considered my office. It's, if you search my GBP on Google, that's my address. It's my office, but it's I also rent it out to as a studio. All right, guys. Ernesto, yo, what's up? Oh yeah. I see a bunch of you out there. Don't be shy, guys. We have. What else is in here? Kenneth says, hi, Dre and Michael. Hello, Kenneth. We got about 3 more minutes to go. If you're just tuning in, we got Michael MacMillan, and we'll be talking about sales conversions for SEO. Creating content, revenue generating content.
It's a mouthful.
Yes. All right, let's see. We have Michael's in the live chats. You want to say hi to Michael? Natalie from SF. Happy Friday, Natalie. RayHom.com. Happy Friday, Ray. Got a full house tonight, or this afternoon. It's a lovely day in the Bay Area. How often do you come out to the Bay Area? Do you have family out here?
No, I'm out about twice a year. Yeah, I ended up with a lot of clients out there. For some reason, the East Coast person from Canada ended up with a lot of West Coast American clients. Got one client did good work, and it led to more clients. So, and it's warmer out there, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty warm now. It was chilly and it was raining, but we needed the rain. So, but it's doing good. So, did you see the questions I sent over? Is everything good there? Did you?
Yeah, no, it all makes sense, and it's nice to dive deeper into this and chat it out. So I appreciate those questions.
Cool. Love it. Carol Fry from Seattle, Washington. Hello, Carol. All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half more to go. So, Michael, I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute, and I'm going to introduce you in about 8 minutes after the hour. I'm going to go over a few videos, and then I'll bring you right in. All right?
Sounds
guys. Good. We got about 1 more minute to go. Fletcher says, what's up, Michael? Love the topic. Yes, we have a great topic today. Michael MacMillan, and we'll be talking about sales conversions for SEO, revenue generating content. Some great stuff, guys. Jeremy, my man, what's up? Wow, we got a pretty busy chat going on. Thank you everyone for coming by. I'm feeling it today. Weather's great. It's been raining for the past 2 weeks, nice and sunny, and I'm actually developing a little sweat here with my lights, so feeling it, love it. Again, if you're just tuning in, we have Michael MacMillan. We talk about sales conversions for SEO. And if you want a copy of the SEO in 2025 book, he is a contributing author in this book as well as myself. I am giving away 3 copies for those people that shoot me their mailing address within the United States. Go to dre@seo.video.com. Dre@seo.video. Dre@seo.video. All right, let's get things ready here.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started. No delay. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVere.
Oops. Let's bring that back up.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, God. Come on, guys. What happened to my intro?
Steady
there we go.
Knowledge over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. Jeremy, you're tricksing me right now. My name's Paul Andre DeVere, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week. It's about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest today is Michael MacMillan of MacMillan Search. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Jeremy, Michael, Victor, Fletcher, Carol, Kobe, Ray, Natalie, Kenneth. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey Dre, why do SEOs love the farmer's market? Lots of organic content.
All right, let's start off with Google. Has put out a video on optimizing search efforts by using Google Search Console. Let's check this one out.
For example, only Search Console can confirm that Google can find and crawl your website, list all indexing problems Google found on your website, submit a sitemap to Google and monitor its status, and check which structured data Google found on your site and whether or not your site appeared as a rich result on search.
All right, Google Search Console has always been my single source of truth, even when I'm using third-party tools like SearchAtls. I mean, I only look at the reports on the data that is pulled in the integration from Google Search Console. So great stuff there. Be sure to use tools. There's actually another great tool that I also use on top of that. It's called SEOgets.com. He was the founder was also found on the show. SEOgets.com, great tool to import Google Search Console and visualize it if you don't have those Looker Studio reports. All right, how often to refresh content by John Lincoln. Let's check this one out.
The more that you are adding content to a page and building the credibility of that page, the better that page is going to rank inside of Google. A general page will usually start with some block text. And then there might be another block of text, another block of text, and another block of text. What Google likes to see is more text being added to the page over time. When you add more content to the page and grow the length of the page, and Google sees you adding more content to that page over time, you rank higher and higher and higher for that primary keyword that is associated with all of that content because you're building the resource. The amount that you refresh a page depends on how competitive it is, how much you really want to invest resources to rank for the specific keywords around the page, and the adjacent keywords that are also associated with that page.
Content refreshes should be a part of everyone's SEO strategy, especially if you use AI. When AI first came out, I published a ton of content using with AI that ranked really well, but over time it kind of like it tanked. However, I refreshed it again using AI, but now I have a lot better results when ranking than before. While it's sticking, because tools nowadays are a lot better when it comes to AI tools, and now we have we learn a lot new tactics on how to humanize our content. Okay, how to decide between one domain or many for SEO? Let's check this one out.
From an SEO perspective, as I was saying, having a single domain makes way more sense. The argument here is simply that larger websites have greater gravity, they attract more links, they attract more visitors, your resources can be pooled against that one carriage, if you like. And so actually increasing your SEO equity is going to be much easier on one domain.
When it comes to domains, I love brandable exact domains. I love playing with the various TLDs that are out there with exact matches. So go ahead and test that out yourself and see how it works for you. Okay, I recommend you test that. The Decline of Keyword Relevance by Kevin Indig. Let's check this one out.
The bigger picture is that ranking positions and keywords are just not that valuable anymore. And our response can be twofold. First, while the overarching goal of SEO should of course be to show up as high as possible in the search results, we need to focus on the attention-catching elements like video carousels or AI answers. And in some cases, that could mean expanding to other platforms like YouTube. And second, we need to look at aggregate data. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel or my free newsletter Growth Memo on www.growth-memo.com. We're still operating with the old model of SEO where we track a list of keywords and measure success by positions. But how much sense does that make when a single page can rank for thousands of keywords? Even better, how much sense does that make given that search is moving from a list of results to LLM answers? The keyword doesn't have a future in search. What does is intent, and LLMs are much, much better at understanding it.
I create content using keyword clusters and topical maps. Topical maps can easily rank for intent targeting, the who, what, why, and how. You know what is even better than ranking for just intent? Revenue generating content, which brings me to my favorite part of the show. Please ask questions on topic and I will address them in the order that they are received. But before we get started, here's a word from our sponsor. Ever wonder how to get your brand noticed? I found the answer with Magic PR. Thanks to Magic PR, my brand now reaches over 500 plus premium news and media outlets. I've seen my press release on MSN, AP News, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, and many more. But it's not just about visibility. With Magic PR's unique SEO process, I've noticed incredible boost in traffic to my site and improved local and organic rankings. From crafting the perfect press release to building a powerful SEO campaign, Magic PR is always there for me. Want to experience the magic of PR? Try Magic PR just like I did and watch your business reach new heights.
Michael has over 15 years of experience in SEO. He formerly leads the SEO at Verb Interactive and Simplecast. He is now the principal consultant at MacMillan Search. He is an SEO speaker and a contributing author in the SEO 2025 book. Please welcome Michael MacMillan.
Michael, my man, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dre. How you doing?
Good. Everyone, let's give a round of applause. Big welcome to my man, Michael, over here. I'm going to go right
to Vancouver, and I was taking an office job again. Went back into low-level development, kind of newsletter development, and building out like carousels and websites using jQuery, like really low-level development type stuff. We kept getting SEO requests from outside consultants, and we were implementing the changes. And there was a pattern. And I think almost any SEO knows that they're good at pattern recognition. If you're good at pattern recognition, you probably want to get into SEO. And I found the pattern. So I said, I asked my boss, like, why are our clients paying somebody else to come in with this direction? And then we're implementing it. Couldn't we take some of that piece? Why don't you get me doing some of that SEO? We'll implement it as well. We charge them a little bit less than they'd pay for two parties. And he liked the idea. And then of course, I started learning analytics, because if you can't measure the return, then what's the point? Yeah. That's where things started.
Love it. Okay, so what made you interested in SEO? Like, I mean, you could have did other things. Like, again, you went to analytics. Why didn't you just stick to like going hard on analytics or social? I mean, why SEO?
Organics kind of, I don't know. It feels a little bit cleaner than paid, if that makes sense. Like, it's a little bit tougher. It touches everything. As far as marketing goes, you touch every part of a website. Like, I've been in-house for B2B SaaS brands, and like, I've never been involved with so many teams. Like, I talked to the product engineering teams, I talked to the content writers, I talked to the social team, I knew the marketing developers, the CEO and I would have a regular meeting because I had to understand what he was doing. I knew pretty much everybody in the company. And even when I was agency, the SEO team touched everything. They didn't know where to sit us. If anybody's in SEO, they know that you're not content marketers. Yep. You're not developers. You're not salespeople. You're not account people. You're kind of all those people, but you're not those people. So it's kind of a way to be a little bit of a chameleon, I guess.
Yep. I love it. I mean, I remember I was doing SEO so far back where I was actually under the IT department. So that's where they put me to like get these things done. Okay, so I wanted to go into like how'd you learn it then? Like, who's your inspiration? Who'd you watch? What maybe forums, or did you read any books? Like, what was your source of learning SEO?
It would have been Matt Cutts back in the day. And I think the first SMX East that I went to was really like eye-opening back when they used to do those in person. I think they might be coming back. I'm not sure. Or maybe Michael King's doing something in New York, but the just in-person conference and actually getting to sit down with other SEOs was impressive. I picked it up more or less like the pattern recognition piece. Like, we were getting reports, we had to implement it. Once you've done something a few times, you start to wondering, why are they asking us to do this? And then once you start figuring out those pieces, you can kind of put all the parts together. And I'd say one of the other interesting things about SEO is that there's always something new to learn. You don't stop, which is kind of cool.
Yep. Love it. Okay. So let's get right into our topic of today. So you are a contributing author in the SEO 2025 book, and your topic is on basically creating revenue generating content. For those that haven't read the book yet, can you just give a quick high level of what this strategy is all about?
Like the TLDR is aligning sales and marketing. Like,
there you go.
I've worked for some pretty big SaaS companies, pretty big B2B companies, and you'd be amazed at how many times you go talk to the marketing team and they're like, yeah, we don't talk to sales and sales doesn't like us. And then you talk to sales, like, well, marketing is not doing what we want. They're not creating the content we want. And it's not oil and water. They're like two sides of a problem that need to start working together. And this is a great way to generate content that satisfies sales, but is also speaking to pain points.
Got it. I love it. Okay, so I mean, let's get into like understanding like the competitive topics and intent here. So like, I want to go like, how do you like assess whether a topic has limited intent or is too broad to actually convert?
If it's too broad, I mean, if you're seeing a lot of like listicle type content, like top 10 articles, if it's informational, if like Wikipedia's got the top, if it's like a definition, like it's kind of a nice bragging right. But if you're like not an established brand, getting that type of a result is like getting in the top of the search results for that is going to be next to impossible. And even if you got it, all that effort is not going to turn into the dollars that make a whole, like, that are going to allow you to continue working. Like if you're not bringing in revenue and you can't argue why you're not bringing in revenue, you're not going to be able to keep going.
Got it. So I mean, you'd say like even like if there's like a broad topic but very low competition, you would even just touch it, or would you still maybe go after it?
If it was low competition, it'd be worth exploring. It'd be an opportunity for building some authority, like definition type content can build authority, but I wouldn't expect it to drive, maybe directly drive revenue. The attribution model is going to be a lot more involved, and you may not be able to directly attribute it.
Got it. Love that. Okay, so for those that may be harder for them to understand, like what is kind of like a keyword or topic to like not go for, like what's a telltale sign in the search to look for to indicate like, hey, let's pass it up.
Like what is a
a sign, like what should we be like looking for that, like, what, that's too broad, like we, if we did some research, like again, because you mentioned like maybe a broad term like what if, or in like what is, and Wikipedia, is there any other like telltale signs of like what's something that's too broad, that's not really worth pursuing?
I mean, look at the search results. If they're mixed, if there's a lot of different, like if the content's not all kind of competing with each other, it might be a little bit odd. But it's a really interesting question. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to like think about because I think every situation is going to be so unique. Like you have to look at the search. Even get out of the tools and actually run the query. Like turn on your VPN if you're in a different. I'm in Canada. I have to turn my VPN on half the time because I work with a lot of US clients just to get different results. Because we didn't have AI overviews, for an example, for a long time. It took us a while to even see those. But if like what do the search results actually look like? What kind of queries are coming up? Is there mixed intent behind that? I mean, use your brain too. Like if you were searching, like try to position yourself in the ideal customer's spot as you're doing these types of queries too, and look at those search results. And would you click on those if you were in that type of scenario?
Yep. Got it. So let's go into like your actual sales conversations, because that's something that mining sales conversations for like SEO insights is something that you really kind of talk about within your contribution here. So I'm like, especially for like the bottom of funnel type of content. Like, so what's your first step for SEOs who have never done this before? Like, how would you do this?
I would first start talking to the sales team. Get an introduction to like maybe the leadership to begin with, find out who their key salespeople are. If you can get a hold of the leadership, ask if are they recording the sales calls right off the bat. Like maybe they're not, and if not, maybe we can start recording these. Let's start transcribing these, getting them in a tool. If they're not recording those, you're going to have to go through an interview process with that sales team. Find the top sales folks, schedule some calls. Sit down with them, start on record those calls as you're going through with the salespeople and start drilling them for like, well, what are they hearing on a regular basis? Because they're on the front lines. They're hearing the questions people are when they're further along in the funnel, when they're ready to convert, or they're middle of funnel. They're definitely vetting options.
Got it. Love that. So I mean, so let's say I meet my head salesperson. And so what are some questions I can ask them to really extract this information?
What's the most common pain point you hear when you're talking to people?
Okay.
What other options have they vetted? Like, are you hearing about other products? What other products are they coming from? Or what other product are they using right now that brought them to you? Like there's a good chance that they're looking to convert. They've got something that they're using. They don't like it. Why don't they like it? And then also, like, what's your answer? Like, what made us different?
Got it. Okay. So, like, for those, like, can you give us maybe like a sample walkthrough? Like, say, you and I'm this salesperson or something. So, I don't know, ask me something, and so you can see what, kind of role play here. Because I'm curious, like, for those that don't understand, like, what? So from this conversation, what should I start optimizing for? So like, what's like an example like of you saying that, trying to ask me.
Yeah. So I guess like if you're, so Dre, you've had quite a few sales calls this week. How's that been going?
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've seen people saying that, that they're having a hard time, getting this nail through this wood, and you know, and we, you know, this power tool that we have is a perfect thing that we were able to, I was able to like let them know about, right? And it's like, so like a lot of the people, like all this contractors are saying like, yeah, you know, using this certain tool to like, you know, put things together makes it a lot easier. So like one of our top selling items right now is this special hammer to like get things connected.
Do you know what kind of hammer they were using before they came to you?
They were using one of those you know, like the regular smaller type heads, and we have like this, we have specialized like bigger heads so they can't miss the nail, the head of nail.
I love this example. I'm renovating my basement right now, so it kind of resonates. Um, and what frustrates them when they miss that nail, when they're not hitting the nail on the head?
Well, I mean, like sometimes they say they get injured, you know, so they're getting injured. They're hitting, like sometimes they'll smash their fingers and they get really, you know, like so like now, like, you know, our special product is, you know, they don't miss, they don't hit their fingers anymore.
That's amazing. Hey, what when they hurt their fingers, what's that take them away from?
It takes them away from, like, you know, doing the rest of their work. I mean, they have the pause, like the renovation stops, right? I mean, like,
Right.
like yeah. So I mean,
And how's that affects the rest of their lives, I wonder?
oh man, they just get lazy, and you know they feel unaccomplished. I don't know if this is getting somewhere we can pull it. What can we extract from this conversation here? Unlike you know, you're talking to a salesperson. This is we're solving the pain point of people not hitting their, you know, their fingers with our product.
So, like, maybe you can create an article about like about the different things that they deal with when they hurt their hands and they're not able. Like, we're getting on the periphery of the subject matter, but it's great content that we can probably internally link back to a main product page from that.
Yeah,
you know, as
yeah. So this is a thought. So like, would something like this work? Like, let's say, you know, safety tools that provide safety. You know, safety first when you're doing some remodeling.
Right.
You know? And it's like, okay, like you can use special tools that you can like, you know, it's like, so you kind of like ranking for like, you know, safety tools for, you know, ranking and stuff like that. Okay, well, I'm trying to like just see if we can get things going here, but I think hopefully if you guys kind of get the point here, it's like actually looking for those pain points and ranking for those pain points is kind of like what we're trying to mine here, like to get more convergence, because we want to sell more hammers, and you know, like make it like and so let's rank for safety hammers, right? All right, guys, stop. Hammer time, says Jeremy. All right, let's get back into here. Let's get back to it. So when it comes to you know, again, sales and marketing, I mean, you know, that's like us. So you want to make sure you want to have that strong relationship, right? So I mean, what other tools would you recommend for like between like whether recording, transcribing, or, you know, analyzing these sales calls effectively? Like, is there anything tools that you actually use to help you kind of like these?
I've used Otter in the past.
Okay.
It was decent. I transitioned to Fireflies probably, and this is transcription tool specifically.
Okay.
Transcription. I moved over to Fireflies recently. Actually, it's like 18 months ago now.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason why I went to Fireflies is I deal with international teams, and what I found is Fireflies deals with accents a whole lot better, which is huge. And you know, maybe Otter's come a long way in this stretch of time. We do use the paid version, because then like Fireflies has got a pile of automation too. You can set it up and get you can get like a summary that sends you summaries off to everyone, which is really helpful. I try to like organize my sales conversations in like, I'll set up a separate calendar if we're doing sales conversations, and then I'll do like a structure with the title that I can uniquely identify, and then we can set up specific rules in Fireflies to automate that, the way it processes that information based on the title of it. So we can really segment that out. It cuts out a little bit of that human element to it, which we could all use a little bit more automation. We're all doing a lot more with a lot less. That's marketing teams, that's SEOs. I think that's probably everybody in the last little bit. And then once I get something in Fireflies, I've been liking Notebook LM for processing big chunks of information. But then I've also been finding that ChatGPT has come a long way with the projects. And even we used to do it with custom GPTs. But I've been finding doing things within a project, it'll reference everything in that project. So you can start one for those sales conversations and then just start feeding. You keep updating within that project, and it knows enough to associate all those together. So we can go back and say, oh, well, somebody else brought this up as well. It seems to be even prioritizing based on time. So, like, salespeople know the answer to the question, but with time, they get better at answering it. They learn a little bit more. Their answers evolve with time. And the most recent one will probably be the better one, but you don't want to necessarily rule out all that stuff from the past as well, because there's probably a couple gems in there as well to pull out, to pull those pieces in. So I've been able to process a lot of that with ChatGPT. There's still always a human involved in the mix though.
Yep.
Because it can't read like a bot wrote it. I know. I mean, ChatGPT is definitely getting better. I was starting to lean into Claude for developing content, but it's sort of like you use Google so much. It's like I've been using ChatGPT for so much. It almost like it knows me. I kind of want to keep it in there. I'd love to switch over to Claude, but there's this whole process. It's like, I know SEMrush might be a better tool, but I'm really used to Ahrefs. So I'm really loving Ahrefs, and nothing to do with transcriptions other than maybe some keyword research down the road. But the tool, you can move so quick in it. So, yeah.
Excellent.
All right. So Jeremy says, wow, awesome tip about ChatGPT project for clients. So great tip right there. So I'm curious, when it comes to like patterns, we were talking about patterns earlier. What patterns and signals should SEOs look for in sales transcripts to identify that high intent, low competition topics?
So, sorry, what do you mean? With
like what are some of the patterns that since now we have our sales transcripts, so we kind of put it into, let's say, ChatGPT or Notebook LLM. So what do we ask it to find? How do we find identify the high intent topics?
That's a fair question. Well, like you can prompt it up, like in the last, the last week, how frequent, or in the last month, what are the most common questions you're hearing? What are the most common pain points you're hearing? What is the biggest reason why people are coming over to talk to us? Like what brought them to us? Okay. And if you're not getting that kind of data in the sales calls too, this can be a great opportunity to go back to the sales team and say, hey, we'd like to see some more of these types of questions when you're going through there. So, because it helps us process that. Anytime somebody brings up an issue they're dealing with, anytime they go on a tangent, when people start to talk, they've got something to say. So whenever the conversation starts going from, one person asks a question, then they've got a follow-up question, and then the tangent that things go off on tends to be kind of an interesting field to go down to. And if you're hearing something more than twice, 3 times, somebody's asked that question to a search engine or an LLM. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So once we identify that reoccurring pain point, right? So from these calls, what's the process for actually turning it into high converting content?
I would just basically ask it to create a piece of content. It sounds kind of like, the first swipe's not going to be great. You're gonna have some garbage here, and you want to kind of start grouping some similar topics together, because you might get just a blurb, a quick answer. It's not going to be necessarily great, but if there's like a couple pieces around that, let's say 3 to 4, maybe 5 points, now you're starting to get a piece of content that you can create. Then you develop an intro to that, a conclusion to that. I was losing my words there. It's end of my day Friday, so don't mind me. The other thing I would recommend is get that back in front of the sales team as well. And if you can, think of, like, I like to have somebody in a writing position that's doing these prompts, but they're acting more like an editor, like an editorial position. And then they're creating a piece of content that I would love to attribute back to the sales team as well. The other thing I'll say with like taking this type of content is sales teams tend to naturally be a little bit competitive. So if you can generate a piece of content and attribute it to the sales person, and then mark them up as the author. I mean, they're the subject matter expert as well, because they know the product, they sell it on a regular basis. And then I would start segmenting these out, maybe in a Looker Studio dashboard. And as you're getting different pieces of content from different salespeople, get that back over to them so that they can know who's performing well from a what content's performing super well, because once they start seeing somebody else is doing better than them, there's probably going to be a little competition there, which is going to just end up with even more better content. And so just something to keep in mind. Yeah.
Love it, love it. Yeah, that sales leaderboard is always something that they'll always compete with in any kind of leaderboard. Sales guys are so competitive there. So and that's a great call out when if it's their conversation and you can ask their permission to use it as them as an author is better than having staff writer, right? Because I mean you're at least attributing it to an actual person. So great way to like accomplish your EAT with that. Great stuff right there. So I'm curious now, like when it comes to like doing blog posts, is there any types of other content that you would recommend building from this information, like all these pain points? Yeah.
I mean, eventually it could take a lot of these pieces and put them together into a white paper. At this point, we've been really using it for blog content. It does inform a bigger content strategy. And with time, like as you're seeing a lot of different things, you can cluster those together and that could become a bigger piece of content.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, for me, it's working really well for blog content. But I could see it being used for a lot of other things. Like you wouldn't use it for a case study because they're at the early stages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were doing more of like an exit type interview or like a post, like as a consultant, I'll interview my own clients after we're not working together to find out what's worked for them, what didn't. Then we use that to inform early sales content as well, but we can leverage that content and turn it into a case study as well.
Yep.
So like this model can be used for so many different things, and we've got these tools available. I think it's one of the better use cases for it, to be quite honest.
Love it. Okay, so you also mentioned about a little bit of social media. How does social media come into play with pushing out sales-driven content? What's like an effective strategy of like repurposing this content in social channels?
Well, getting that content out there and like getting that content out there on social media and paying attention to the comments is a way to like build out on this content. Like none of us create a piece of content, put it out there and expect it to perform for the next 5 years. Like everything's an MVP, right? Like a piece of content is like, let's get something out there and see how it's performing. And a good way to test how it's performing is pushing it around on social media. It may not have to, summarize it, get little bits and pieces of it out there on a piece of content, and then pay attention to what's happening in the comments. If it's a lot of like, oh, that's a great idea, okay, that's cool. But like if somebody's asking questions about it and you didn't answer that in your piece of content, oh, that's a great excuse to expand on this piece of content and make it better.
Love it.
That's how I like to use social media to inform this stuff and to build it and to get it even further down the road.
Okay, cool. Love it. That's knowledge bomb right there. So I want to go into more of like measuring success here. And like you said, how to like kind of optimize it and stuff like that through social media. And what are some like measure things? What are the things that you track to make sure that it's driving these revenue generating content? Like what are the things that you're looking at? So like, okay, this is a great piece of content. It's generating revenue for you. Like what are like these KPIs that you're looking at?
For blog content, it's gonna like. Off the start, I want to see visibility. So I'm in Search Console and I'm seeing impressions. Is it trending in the right direction? Are we getting some eyeballs on it, even if it's only in the search results? And if it's getting to that point, then we at least get an idea of what kind of queries it's performing for. Long term, I want to know if it's driving top of funnel conversions. Are we getting people into a newsletter? Are we getting folks into some sort of system where they're now in our sales funnel? I don't expect them to buy the product off of that query. Although I will say that because we're trying to develop more bottom of funnel content, we expect it to have more of a bottom of funnel approach. Like we're expecting to get more people in for say a demo or at least a trial, but we're still dealing with blog content and I expect a lot of it to be top of funnel, at least from a conversion standpoint. So if we're getting more newsletters, that's great, but they're going to be a little bit further along than they're just researching informational content.
Got it, guys. So, I mean, when it comes to top of funnel content, that's not necessarily informational content. Because if you were going to get them to sign for a newsletter, right? I mean, so I'm curious, like what type of content would like identify someone or make someone try to sign up for a newsletter?
I mean, any sort of thought leadership. I would say like anything that would you see a future in paying attention to this brand or this thought leader specifically, like that's gonna drive you into a newsletter, or you see a future of like even engaging with this product in the future. Like this could be a problem I could solve when I've got more budget. Or yeah.
Got it. Okay, so let's kind of like walk through like the kind of the journey of like the content journey right here, right? So like we have the top of the funnel, middle funnel, bottom of the funnel, and we said like, okay, if we want to get the top of the funnel, we do like kind of like this thought leadership stuff, and we do newsletter. So I mean, if like what would like drive them down the funnel? Like what would some types of content that you would develop to kind of drive them down to the bottom of the funnel conversion?
Well, when we get down to the bottom of the funnel, it's like, what's the actual pain problem, and how can I solve that pain problem? Like, what's the problem I have, and can this product solve that problem? So if they've come in for the thought leadership, even if they've come in for just this is what resonates with me. Again, I'm sorry, I'm like spacing out on the end of my day, but does this solve a problem that I have right now? And will paying for this make my life easier or make my business more profitable?
Got it. Okay. So you also talk about a lot of AI, right? So you use AI a lot within your processes. So I'm curious, like, when it comes to like AI creation, like what's your process? Like, are you humanizing it in some way? Like what are some prompts that you taking from this content, and to develop the type of content, like so people can get an idea, like, okay, I'll take my sales conversation, put in the LLM, and then so like how can I create, like, prompt me to like create this piece of content that will be revenue generating?
Well, first I'll populate it with a handful of conversations. Won't just do like one off the bat. If I can, I'll try to have like either custom GPT going or a project that's got all the sales conversations in there, and we keep feeding it. From there, I'll be like, what kind of topics are you hearing on a regular basis? Can we group a bunch of these together? And then it's like that follow-up prompt where we start kind of taking those, the ones that can be grouped together, and then start fleshing out that piece of content. Regularly, I'll pull it out and just try to piece it together and read through it. Reading out loud is really helpful as well as you read through that content. So it like, does this sound like a robot's reading it? As I'm reading it out, like, do I want to, like, does this actually make sense? And then getting it back into the system. It's never really a like one prompt and we're done. There's a lot of follow-ups, a lot of like, well, okay, I don't like the way this concludes, or this is a bit rambly. Can you like sort of like what I'm doing right now with all this rambling? Can we clean this up and make it more concise? Can we make this more? Can we make this point a little bit more coherent?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So once we have that, I like, and then is there like are you using any like content optimization tools to like optimize this? I mean, or are you just kind of just taking it for it's just spitting out? Like, once you have your article, how do you optimize it? And, kind of walk us through the flow of like publishing it live.
So if we're taking a piece of content like this, I'd rather publish it as is. SEO best practices in place. Like, we want a decent title, we want a decent heading, we want a table of contents and subheadings. We want a proper structure there. But I wouldn't even get involved in keyword research with this type of stuff, because it's going to be so long tail that it may not show up in tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush. I would then push it out live, let the sales team know that it's there in case they have to reference back to it, or if they want to share it with people, and then start a social push on it as well. Let it sit for about 28 days-ish, and then go back into Search Console and find out, like, what are we showing up for this? And then from there, I would start exploring optimization. And I use Surfer SEO, ClearScope. I've used that one in the past as well. Usually we work with clients that are doing a lot of the writing as well. So like, well, whatever they're working with. But from there, we can find out what it's ranking for, and then run those queries through Ahrefs or SEMrush and see do they have any volume? Is it very competitive? Do these make sense? And then start plugging that back into tools like Surfer and start optimizing from there. And then, at 28 days, you might not even be seeing a whole lot of traction. Maybe you have to go back and get a little bit more visibility on it to get a little bit more traction. And then set yourself a reminder and come back another 28 days later and see how things are performing.
Got it. Love it. Okay, so we talked a lot about a lot of things today. So I'm curious, like, if someone wants to get right into it, like an SEO professional, only had a few hours a week to focus on creating this revenue generating content, analyzing sales conversations. What are the top 3 most impactful options you would say that they should take in order to get started?
Start talking to your sales team.
Okay.
If you're a brick and mortar business that doesn't have a sales team, this is something we've been exploring, is go to Google Takeout and export your reviews from Google Business Profiles and start using that to find out what people are talking about, what the sentiment are there, and see if you can generate anything from that, especially if you're a business that has existed for a while. There's a couple tourism businesses out here that have had a Google Business Profile for like 10 years and never leveraged those things. So you have these huge JSON outputs that ChatGPT loves JSON outputs because this is the language ChatGPT speaks. Here's a pile of reviews that are actually from people that are happy and like what resonated with people at certain times. So yeah, if you don't have sales calls to start talking to your sales team, but if you don't have sales calls, start looking into reviews, especially if you're brick and mortar.
Right.
And yeah.
One more. Give me one more.
Oh, one more. Sorry, you said 3, right? I only gave you 2. I apologize for that.
Give me one more. Let's.
If you're not transcribing calls, start transcribing calls. And this whole idea came from, or this whole concept more or less started from working for B2B SaaS companies. We would find that some of the best performing content was usually founder driven content early stage, before they had to start raising, before they were on the road and they're running around. And it's thought leadership that's just really powerful content. But the founders had time. And once they start raising and once they start running a company, and once they start growing, they've run out of time. So they may not be able to dedicate a couple hours to creating a piece of content, but they probably would take half an hour, 45 minutes and sit down with you and you can interview them and ask them questions.
Love it.
Then you can take that transcription and feed that back in and then start generating this piece of content and attribute it back to them. And then they just have to approve it. Just go through it and read it and make sure that it makes sense. So that's where the original concept actually came from, is just dealing with busy founders that created great content but didn't have time to create great content. So it's another way of taking the similar process and using it to generate powerful content.
Love it. Great tip right there. Okay, guys, I'm coming down to my last question here. If you guys in the audience have any questions, go ahead and ask it in the live chat right now before while I ask my last question here. So for those that want to get into the SEO profession, get into the SEO professional, become an SEO professional themselves, what would your advice be to them?
I think we all came from somewhere weird. Like no one did their MBA or well, maybe they did their MBA, but they didn't specialize in SEO. They did something else, and then they ended up in SEO. If you're just naturally curious, start asking questions and start figuring out who in your area does SEO. Nothing beats having actual in-person conversation with people. And there's most SEOs, if you put a couple of drinks in them, will talk SEO any day, like all day long. So, and their wife and their partner does not want to hear them talk about SEO as much as they probably do. So if you're willing to listen to them, they'll probably give you some information. I'm not one of those people that created my own website. I was lucky to work on clients' websites like 15 years ago and start developing content around or SEO tactics around what they're doing, which was really powerful. I know a lot of people tote that, but I would say look into your local area, find out what people are doing SEO and start talking to them and ask them questions. They will tell you.
Love it. I didn't see any questions come in here. So for this episode to feel complete for you, any last comments and how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, great. Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn, Michael MacMillan, MacMillanSearch.com as well. If you want to see my website, I have a bad case of Carpenter's House, though, with my website. I think a lot of people deal with that, where if you haven't heard the concept of Carpenter's House, it's like the Carpenter's House is always half finished because they're out working on other things because that's just the way it is, which is a good sign. But LinkedIn's probably the best way to find me. I'd love to be more active on Blue Sky. I adopted it during Brighton last November, but I just can't keep up with it. I'd love to, but LinkedIn's probably the best way to connect with me.
Love it. Everyone's give a round of applause. All right. Thank you so much. Can you hold on for one quick second while I sign off here? Hold on for one quick second. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you want a free copy of the book, Michael and myself are in this book. If you want a copy, go ahead and send me an email, dre@seo.video, dre@seo.video. Your mailing address name and mailing address, and I'll send you a free copy. No cost to you. And it's great. A lot of great stuff in here. A lot of great stuff. So get that. And don't forget to visit our sponsors, magicpr.com for your PR syndication, and 1of10.com. If you want to get good at YouTube, go to 1of10.com for your YouTube research. Great tool. I use it myself, and I'm so actually happy that they actually sponsored this show. And it's funny because they actually sponsored with me not even knowing, and while I was already a customer. So love that. So you guys, Jeremy, great show. Cheers. Thank you, everyone. So love the hammer material. Yes, hammer time, guys. Love it, love it. Until next time, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. Let's see.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!